never done a favorites video before, but I always enjoy watching these kinds of videos because I'm looking for new things to buy all the time. I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see some of my favorite things, past and present, but more focused around the fall season. I've compiled a big list of things, and yeah. I wanted to start with this candle, which is the Cozy Nights candle from Target, and I think this one was like, where's the price? I don't know, I feel like this one was maybe $15 because it was taller. I think this is the fourth of these candles that I've gone through in this current season, and it's only October 6th. I always tend to go for the more muskier scents. Anything with like warm sweater or dark forest, I don't know. This one smells like a man that I would want to fall in love with me. So, God. Oh my God, stop. Okay, my next favorite are these candles, and I got them both separately, but both of them were at Home Goods. I haven't lit them yet because one of them I don't really like the smell of, and I kind of just like to use them as decor, but I love the way that they look just in my house, and I feel like they give that elegant fall feeling. I don't know. But they're really heavy, and the top falls off a lot, so I guess be mindful of that. So this one is in the scent Amber Saffron, and this one is in the scent Amber and Bergamot. This one smells more fall. This one smells kind of like a musky scent. And these were like $7 from Home Goods. It's only right that my next favorite would be this candle care kit, since the first two were candles. I was gifted this from my grandmother last Christmas, I think. It kind of just makes me feel bougie having these. I can like put this over top of the flame and put it out, and this is to cut the wick. Whenever candles get the wax stuck up on the side and it won't go down, this thing can be used to push it down. And if you're like me and you push too much wax down, you can use the other side to scoop out the wick. I'm gonna do my last candle favorite, which is these tapered candles. I always used to have tapered candles around my house, but for some reason I was scared to light them. And when I started lighting them, boy did things change. They look so much better this way. It feels cozy having a bunch of tapered candles lit around the house just when I'm reading a book or crocheting, and it just really sets the mood, I feel like, for fall. Next, I wanted to talk about my obsession with crocheting that evolved recently. I taught myself how to crochet in the summer, and I did one little project, and then I didn't really stick with it for a while, and I've kind of picked it back up now, and it's just such a relaxing activity. Just with social media and our new world of phones and overstimulation, I have a lot of trouble just focusing on one thing. So this is really relaxing for me to work on while I'm like watching a movie or watching a TV show or something like that. It's funny because I'm not very good at it. I've done a couple of projects over the past week or so, and they just keep looking slightly off. But that's okay because I'm having fun. In my little fall vlog, I was working on this pumpkin, which it looks okay. But I wasn't super happy with how it came out, so I started making another pumpkin, and I wanted it to be bigger. I didn't realize that it was possible for me to make it look worse. There's this one that I'm trying to finish up right now. I just need to add a stem to it, but they keep coming out looking like bell peppers. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I'm following the guide and I'm following the pattern. I will put the link to the video of the tutorial that I've been following for this. And if you do make one better than me, don't show me because I'm gonna get in my head about it. I actually found this earlier this week, but I was at Barnes & Noble and they had this horror coloring book. I've always been a fan of coloring books. I don't care that I'm almost 23 years old. I'll do as I please. But this one was really interesting because it's a bunch of horror movies and the illustrations are so high quality. The one that I'm most excited for is the Midsummer one because that's one of my all-time favorite movies ever. This one is a good find if you're into horror movies or you just like to color and you want something that's more into the Halloween season, which I've never really been a big fan of horror movies, but I do like some of them, the more like psychological ones. So I thought this would be fun and I've really been enjoying it so far. Okay, next I have these Halloween mugs. Actually, funny story with this ghost mug. When these first showed up in Target, I think it was 2 years ago, my mother and I wanted them so bad, but they were sold out everywhere because TikTok had gotten a hold of them and everybody was mass buying them. So my mom and I ended up ordering these off of, I think it's called Merkai, whatever that website is. I don't know. We got them from that and we paid so much more than they were selling them for at Target, but I feel like it was worth it. It's cute. I like it. And then this mummy one I found at Target last year, but I think that they look cute next to my little coffee station in my kitchen. So there's that. Something else that I've been obsessed with, and it honestly hasn't left my side, is this huge blanket. It's the perfect mix of thick and soft, but it's not super hot. I just keep bringing it back and forth between my bedroom to my couch to my office. Next, getting into my book recommendations for the season, I wanted to start with Practical Magic because it is actually my next read of the season. I need to finish The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have been taking forever to finish it. I think it's because every time I start reading it, I just can't stop reading it. So once I put it down, it's like a 3-day break from the story. But I'm almost done with that one and I will be starting this one. And I'm excited to see if I like it. But I'm going to go ahead and recommend it to you guys because I already know the story. So it was one of my mother and I's favorite movies when I was growing up. So I'm excited to see what the book is like. Next on my book favorites is one of my all-time favorite books, and that is Wuthering Heights. I have always loved this book. I read it for the first time in high school, I think, and it is just one of those stories that struck with me in a way different than anything else. So it's heartbreaking, it's beautiful. I think it is an amazing work of literature, and if you haven't read it yet, you should read it now. Even if you don't read it in the fall, read it in the winter or the spring or the summer. I don't know, just read this book. When it comes to classics and all other books in the world, this one ranks number one for me, always. Next is Little Women, which is another classic, and I actually just got this copy while I was at Barnes & Noble and picked up the other books. I like this style of cover and it matches my Wuthering Heights one, so I have these two sitting on my nightstand. But Little Women is another one of those stories that I've just always loved. I love the plays, I love the movies that have been made, I love the book. So this one I feel like is a nice, cozy read for the season, and I would recommend it to anyone that hasn't read it already. And even if you have read it, read it again. My last book recommendation, I do not have my copy of it because I gave it to my mom to read and she still hasn't read it. It's fine. We'll talk about that later. And that is The Night Circus. I read this book in high school for my IB literature class, and it's one of those forbidden lovers tropes, and I found it really enjoyable, and I think that it's perfect for the season because it's about magical people working in a circus. And yeah, I think it's a really good read. It's one of my favorite books that I've read. If you like those kinds of stories or those kinds of tropes, then I would definitely recommend that one. I have decided to skip my favorite movie and TV shows of the season just with the ongoing strike, which I am in full support of, being an actress and an entertainment lover myself. All of my favorite movies and TV shows would not be possible without the actors and background actors who come together to bring these productions to life. So with that being said, I am moving on to my clothing favorites. First up on my favorites, it only felt right to mention my Uggs. These are my go-to staple. They honestly, I feel like they look good with every outfit. So, I mean, except maybe like a nice formal outfit. Maybe don't wear them then, but I will wear them when I'm running errands. I also wear them around the house all the time. And yeah, you can never go wrong with a pair of Uggs. Next in my favorite outfit pieces is something that I'm sure many of you have seen, because every time I wear them, people comment on them. And it's either like, wow, those are the biggest glasses I've ever seen, or wow, I really like those. It's these gigantic blue light glasses. I ended up getting these particular blue light glasses because, one, I'm always staring at some kind of screen just for my work and life in general. I tend to get annoyed whenever I can see the frame of the glasses in my peripheral vision, and these are so big that I don't have that issue with it. These are good. Next is this sweater, which I cannot seem to stop wearing. I thrifted it. I'm pretty sure I found it at Crossroads, but I wear this around the house. I've worn it with business pants. I've worn it with a skirt. I don't know. It goes with everything. It's like the perfect sweater. Next are actually two things that I'm wearing right now. But the first one is this zip-up sweater, and I've been seeing these all over Pinterest, and it's funny because my friend and I were talking about this the other day, how we used to have so many of these in our closet back when we were in like elementary school and middle school, and then one day they just went out of style and everybody got rid of them, and now they're coming back and I could not be happier. I have been wearing this a lot. It's also easy just having a zip up sweater. I want to get another one in white. That was originally what I was looking for, but they were out of the white one, so I ended up getting this navy blue one, which is probably for the best because I own way too much black and white clothing. It also has a hood. I got these flannel shorts whenever I got this zip up sweater. I live in LA, so it is still burning up outside, but I wanted something that still felt like fall, even if it doesn't feel like fall. Next, I wanted to talk about this perfume from Dossier. It is the Musky Rose scent, and I have tried a lot of their perfumes in the past, and this one is the one that has stuck with me. I really like this one. I have been wearing this one all day, every day. Even if I don't leave the house, I still put it on because it makes me feel good. So, next I wanted to talk about my moon necklace. My mom and I have matching ones of these, and they're basically a series of necklaces that have all the different moon phases and what it means to be born on a certain moon phase. And so me and her both have our specific moon phase, and it's actually wild. This necklace picks up the sunlight, and then when you go in the dark, it glows in the dark. I have had this necklace for years now, and I wear this year round, but I feel like I tend to wear it more in the fall because it just makes me feel like a witch. Last in my, this isn't clothing, but it's an accessory, my big chunky purse. I have always been a big purse girly. I feel like I can never fit anything that I need in the smaller purses. This purse I have had for so long, but I feel like for fall specifically, it's simple and basic and it goes with everything and it fits everything, which I don't even know what I have in here right now. Okay, I'm not getting into this right now because it is scary in there. Okay, last I wanted to go over some of my favorite songs of the season. Every year I make a new fall playlist, which I will link my 2023 one in the description down below if you care to listen. First, I think this one is a given and probably a lot of people's favorite song of the season, but that is Duvet by BoA. I recently discovered the acoustic version of this song. I didn't even know it existed, and that has been on repeat. These next two remind me of my all-time favorite witchy movie, and they are just sentimental, and that is A Case of You by Joni Mitchell and Crystal by Stevie Nicks. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am a huge fan of Fleetwood Mac, more particularly Stevie Nicks. And Crystal is always on my most played songs of the year whenever Spotify Wrapped comes around. And I just feel like it is the perfect 90s fall feeling. And then these last two songs are more recent finds. Growing up in Kentucky, I feel like I tend to lean towards a lot of folk indie music. They're just these songs that remind me of what fall felt like in Kentucky. The first one is Dawns by Zach Bryan with Maggie Rogers. I don't know how I stumbled across that song, but once I heard it, it was one of those pause moments where I was like, what is this? I think since I found it, there hasn't been a day that's gone by that I haven't listened to it. I think it's amazing. And then the other song is Sometimes, in parentheses, Backwood by Gigi Perez. And that's another one of those songs that I just feel like strikes my perfect genre for this season, if that makes sense. All right, well, I think that is all for my fall favorites. There's probably a lot of things that I'm missing, but I feel like I have gone over enough things. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you end up taking me up on any of my recommendations. All right, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.